All right. Well, Tyler, hey, it's been a while. How's
Hey,
your life been going, buddy?
everyone I know is dead.
Yeah, yeah. I wish more people that I knew were dead.
Jesus.
This is a weird start. Well, hey, it's been a little bit. The
Been a
podcast
minute.
kind of died. I made a whole video saying, "Hey, podcast is going away." And true to my word, this is not the Graveyard Shift Movie Podcast. In fact, I don't really know what this is. Me nor Tyler really know what this is. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing. Tyler and me actually have days off together again. And he was like, hey, let's watch this fucking movie called The Killing of a Sacred Deer. And let's do a fucking podcast episode on it, talk about it. And I said, sure, why not? I don't have anything else better going on. And then I watched the movie and I was like, damn, I really wish I had something better.
How dare you?
That's not true. I don't, how do you like it? How do you like The Killing of a Sacred Deer?
I would say it's in the same vein or the same ilk of Midsummer and almost Hereditary. That being said, I think the people that got to be in the movie kind of let it down. And if they had better actors, it would have been a lot better.
So you said that we were talking a little bit at the very beginning when we both started the movie about like what the first thing we noticed is. And you had said I all I noticed is the terrible line delivery.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the actors. Like I think that's how it was written in
Yeah,
the
it was
script and how it was
written.
directed.
It it sounded to me, or like
I
the
wonder if we'll
direction
have
they
the
went.
same like what it sounded like to both of us because I had an idea of what it sounded like to me.
It just sounded like if a kid wrote a story. Like all the conversations
Mm-hmm.
were very, I don't want to say rudimentary, but like it was like,
Yeah.
"Hello, how are you today? Oh, I am good.
Yeah.
How are you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is this the future where AI is writing scripts?"
That's that's all I could think about. It just sounded like uh if it was Siri doing all the reads of
Yeah,
the lines.
That's fantastic.
It's water resistant up to 200 meters.
Does this come off? I prefer a leather strap.
It comes off, yes. You can put on any strap you like. But metal are more hard wearing. That's why I got you the metal strap. It's more expensive too.
Especially there's one later on in the movie where it's the daughter and she's talking to Colin Farrell. Or no, she's talking to the little brother and she's asking if she can have his MP3 player and she goes, "Can I have
yeah.
your MP3 player? Please? Please? Please?" Like exactly the same cadence.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I've lost two MP3 players in the last 10 days. So I'd like to ask you a favor. Can I have your MP3 player when you're dead? Please, please, please.
And the way of pronouncing it. And yeah, from the immediate get go, I was like, hey, what is that watch? Oh, this watch is titanium and leather, and it can be in 200 meters of water.
Yeah.
And that's the whole. It kind of, it felt more noticeable in the beginning. And then I will say that, like, somewhere in the middle, it kind of seems like it goes away for a little bit. Like, it's still there, but I don't notice it as much. Maybe that's just because I got used to it. But then it would rear its head back up again, where I'm like, they're doing it again. They're doing the fucking the weird talking. The
So yeah,
one guy
it's
never stops it. The Barry Keegan, whatever his name is. Uh,
yeah, and it seems like Nicole Kidman has a very hard time doing it.
yeah, she was
So
trying.
yeah, like everyone else was fucking robot, and then she would be like, "I do not, hey y'all," or whatever, and you're just like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like she's the only one that really displayed emotion in the whole movie. Like everyone else was devoid of it. And like you said, I'm
Yeah,
sure it was intended. I didn't know if this was supposed to be like iambic pentameter or something. Like I was like, maybe I'm just not understanding the speech thing.
I
Maybe there's like,
yeah, I
I don't
don't know. And the same thing like what you said about emotions. Like there's not any like you get one scene of Colin Farrell where he's like crying. But besides that, there's no fear. There's no like the kids in the we're trying to I'm avoiding spoilers for a little bit, but there's no fear with any of the situation that's going on. Like the kids don't really seem like they're that scared. The last 40 minutes, 30 minutes of this movie is straight up just a black comedy, like a just dark,
yeah.
satirical, like yeah, and I don't know. It was very strange. The guy that directed this, I looked it up because I like doing that. I like seeing what other people made. Uh, he made fucking that Poor Things movie that just won the lady won Best Actress. Not Emma Roberts,
Um,
Emma Stone. I know the movie was nominated for like best movie or whatever. I don't think it won. He also is doing that Kinds of Kindness movie that was coming out this year. That once again is Emma Stone, and there's that clip of her like dancing in front of the car. That was going viral for a while. And he did The Lobster, which I always wanted to watch, but I never did watch. So I can't attest for if that movie is any good or not. But um, but that's what else he's done. And I was like, is this what all these movies are like? Like I haven't watched them. I keep meaning to watch Poor Things, and I haven't got around to it.
do you think they made this movie for like, I don't want to say autistic people, but do you think that's the reason why all of like, everything in it is so like cut and dry and emotionless
Well,
and so on?
that was what I was gonna say. When we were talking about like the cadence and stuff, it either
Yeah.
seemed like it was Siri or everyone in the movie was autistic. Because it talks like if
Well,
you've
let's not
seen
single out autistic. Let's just say like on the spectrum, or they're trying to give
yeah, but I'm thinking very clearly
something.
like there's that one scene in that like dating on the spectrum scene where it's like, oh, it seems we both have autism. Yes, 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 we do. Oh, good to know, good to know. And like they talk exactly the same as everyone in this movie was talking. So at first I thought it was just maybe the two main characters because for a while all you get is Colin Farrell and fucking weird kid from Saltburn that's in a whole bunch of shit. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Also, I started laughing because at the very beginning when him and Colin Farrell sit down at the diner or whatever, I was like, holy shit, it's the Penguin and the Joker just going out
Hanging
for
out.
going out for a nice meal together. It's like the old the how Batman or whatever should have ended, and it always ends with Superman and Batman at the diner, like in a cartoon character form talking. If you know that's old YouTube. I don't know if they still even make that show, but yes, the autistic thing.
Well, no, it's like I said, I don't. So here's my question: the
Mm-hmm.
guy, it's a story, right? And
Yeah.
it's obviously being told. Um, is the main who's the main character of the movie? Colin Farrell,
Yeah, I would say Colin Farrell's the main character of the movie.
or is it Martin, the guy whose name you can't say?
Yeah, well,
The
if Martin was in more of the movie, maybe you could make, but he disappears for a good little
a
chunk.
good bit, yeah. Well, once he gets, but so here's my thing. Dude was obviously something. They even say in the movie that he has mental issues, right?
Mhm.
Like severely, whatever. And like he repeats himself and everything else in it. So if he's the narrator, if it's his story,
Mm,
because like I said, I don't want to spoil nothing, but we'll get into
yeah.
it. But like if
Maybe it
it's
makes
him
more sense that
narrating
they're
it,
talking like
it
that.
makes because you're getting it from his mind, not a
Yeah.
normal person's mind.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I wish I had a better better idea of
Right?
why
'Cause
they sounded like that, but I don't know. I guess I'll say, by the way, I'll go ahead and say it right now. I liked it fine. Uh, I'm not crazy about it. I don't think it was like I see it had a bunch of good reviews. Like everywhere I looked, it was in like the high, 70 percentile, of reviews or whatever. But I liked it. I specifically, if it wasn't for like the last 35-40 minutes is what made me like the movie when it turns into like the dark comedy.
No, I don't think it turned into a dark comedy. You just found it funny.
No, it was definitely. We'll, we'll get into it, but yeah.
Uh, So let's say like you said 70%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the camp of I'm not mad that I watched it.
Yeah.
I think like especially like a lot of like how it was shot, the fucking music they picked for this,
It's
like
crazy.
it's crazy, but everything fits so well,
Yeah.
and it was so good, and just for that, I was like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't mind that I watched it. I
Yeah.
would if someone else had nothing else to watch and they asked me about it, I was like, yeah, go for it, man. It is what it is. But yeah, like it's no Midsummer, right? It's no Hereditary.
No
It's
Hereditary. It's way better than Midsummer.
what's that? Oh yeah,
Fuck you. Fuck you.
What is that one movie we watched where it's like post-apocalyptic and the people move in and like they have the virus?
It Comes at
and
Night.
the kids. Yeah, so to me it was a lot like It Comes at Night, right? Like
Yeah.
there wasn't enough going on. It was like, hey, we have this slight issue with these 5 people,
Mhm.
right? And it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't like a scary jump out get you villain.
No.
It was like the slow chase of death. Or
Matter of
whatever.
fact, I'm not entirely sure. Like by the end of the movie, you never really see like a clear. All right, this is what's doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But that was like, if I knew,
mm-hmm.
or if I could figure out, or if I had any recollection
Yeah.
of what the fuck was actually going on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like at the last 2 minutes of the movie, they could have showed like an invisible Bigfoot, and I was
Yeah.
like,
No Bigfoot.
gotcha, or like
Yeah.
fucking the Predator uncloaked, and then I'd be
Yeah.
like, that's it.
Yeah.
But you got no explanation.
Nope. There's nothing. Not a single thing.
And there's
Also, spoiler, no deer. The whole movie. I spent the first probably 15 minutes going, all right, which one of you guys is going to turn into a deer? My eye was on the son, who is Sonny, once again, another guy, I don't know how to say his last name, Sonny Seljuk or something, who, boy, he looks super fucking young in this movie. He was the main character in that mid-90s movie, the skateboard movie that Jonah Hill made. He's also probably more famous for being the voice, and I think he did the motion capture of Kratos' son in the new God of War games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boy.
But also, that kid seriously can rip. He's a really good skateboarder. I don't remember what board company he rides for, but he's still. I'm like, he looks super young in this. He's only 18. I looked him up, and he's only 18.
How
But
did you not find out who he rides for? It's like
I
Santa
tried my
Cruz
best.
or something.
I was looking who he rode for, and I couldn't find anything. He might not even be on the team. He might just like, be in videos with them like homies and just riding with them. But I swear he's with somebody. I can't remember the fucking name. I should text Pags.
I'm figuring it out right now. I'm gonna
yeah?
figure it out. You keep going on your rant.
But anyway, there's a scene in like the very beginning of the movie where they're at dinner, and I don't know if you noticed it, and they never draw attention to it, and they never mention it, in fact, to the point that I was like, this might just be how this kid is. Where they showed him and his arms were hairy as shit. And there's a point later where they roll him over, or he's on his side, and they're looking at his back, and his back is covered in hair too. Like they're blonde hairs, but it's everywhere. And I remember being like, God damn, this kid's hairy as fuck. And I kept thinking, he's like a little deer child demon thing, and that's what's gonna be the movie. But no, they never once mentioned that, never draw attention to it. So I think maybe that's just how old Sonny is. He's just a little hairy.
Anyways,
Yeah, you find out who it was?
I know he skates goofy. He's still amateur. His sponsors are Illegal Civ and Adidas.
Yeah, see, he's always wearing Adidas.
I don't know who Illegal Civ is. But anyways.
Yeah, anyways.
This is based off of like Greek mythology or something. There's some story. I don't know what it is, or I would actually tell you what it was, but it's like a guy goes out and he's hunting and he kills a deer and ends up that deer is like some magical creature.
He shoots at a bear and the bear takes the gun and hits him, and then he comes back the next day and jerks him off, or what's that joke? You're not really coming out here to hunt, are you?
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, yeah, that's the joke. But yeah, so that's why I think the name is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. But it's just wild. So here's the thing: it's a very wild movie, but they've taken all emotion out of it, so it wasn't wild at all.
Yeah,
it was like reading
calm.
reading an owner's manual about a movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Now the last 20 minutes, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So but
all right. Well, hey, Killing of a Sacred Deer. I would say, if you don't got nothing going on, you can give it a watch. You won't regret watching it, or maybe you will. I can't guarantee that you won't, but I would say I would give it a recommendation if you don't got anything going on. Tyler, would you recommend this movie before we go on the spoilers?
Yes.
Okay.
I would recommend this movie.
I was just laughing because literally earlier in the show you said I would recommend this to someone, and I was gonna laugh if I asked, and you went nope. No, I would not. But all right, well, hey, let's go on to spoilers for the fucking movie. So right here, don't get mad at us if you keep watching and we spoil shit for you.
It's the only thing I can think of as close to justice.
We can light it up, so they can put it out.
So did we ever really learn? I guess it was the dad's fault that the Martin's dad died, right?
Yes.
Like he used to be a drunk, and they say he only came to work with like 2 drinks or whatever. He only drunk 2 drinks, but it was his fault that the dad died in an operation. That was the final verdict.
Had a stroke, and they said that he was a little drunk, and that that's what did it. And they asked him, and he was like, "Well, no, of course it wasn't me."
That's what one of my favorite parts of the movies is being like, it's never the surgeon's fault. It's always It's always the anesthesiologist's fault. Surgeon is never to blame for a death in the operating table. And then Nicole Kidman goes, and he's like, it's never the anesthesiologist. It's always the surgeon. And then she's like, which very weird part of the movie. They just kind of threw that in there, where you get a scene of Nicole Kidman just jacking off this dude in his car. I'm going to assume that was in there because she feels like
she's
Colin Farrell
willing to do whatever to save her family, maybe?
I don't know. So you think that's how she got the information? She didn't really get any information. He just gave his side of the story. I don't know. I took it as in she thought that Colin Farrell was messing around with Martin's mom. So she was like, I'm going to jerk this guy off.
So here's my thing.
This guy did have beautiful hands.
I don't feel like it was a new thing.
Yeah. To be fair, yeah, the guy does say, like, there's a couple lines where he's like, oh, yeah, good to see you again.
he's like, you know what I want or whatever, or something like that. And then he was like, when, where, or whatever. And she was like, right now, or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was no like conversation about it. So I was like, all right, I was like, they've done this before or something. I don't know.
I don't know. It was very strange. Came out of nowhere. There's a lot of strange sex things in this. Like Colin Farrell apparently likes to fuck his wife under the circumstances that she's a patient that he's operating on. Like when they go to do it, he turns all the lights on, which is to light it up like it. And in the operating table, very beginning of the movie, the guy's like, more lights, turn more lights on or whatever. And we get, what even was that? Was that a heart? It didn't look like a heart, but it was beating like a heart. I thought maybe it was beginning? I thought maybe it was like a lung or something, or a
no, kidney. It was 100% a heart.
Was it? It looked all blubbery. I don't know. Maybe that's how hearts look. I guess. But yeah, and he like, so when they're going to have sex, he says the same thing. He's like, more light, and then he's like, what's the anesthesia 01 or something like that, and she just lays out like, and then he comes and like crawls over her. And that's how he likes to bang his wife, I guess. I don't know. It's very strange. There's that. There's maybe the weirdest part of the movie to me, which I even sent a text to Tyler when it happened, where Colin Farrell is talking to his son, who, I don't know how old the kid is in this movie, 12, 13 or something, going on based of when this came out. And he's like, the son's not walking. We'll get into that more in a little bit, but the son isn't walking, and Colin Farrell's trying to get him to walk. And he thinks maybe the son is playing a trick on him. So he's like, you need to tell me a secret. Here's a secret of mine. When I was 13, however old he was, I started jerking off for the first time, and I didn't come a lot. So then one night my dad got drunk, and I went and I grabbed his dick, and I jerked him off. Sperm went everywhere, and I ran away real scared. And I was like, what? I was like, what is this story, dude? And they never revisit that. There's never a point in the movie where that's a thing we needed to know.
When I was your age, I'd only just started masturbating. And I'd only just started ejaculating. Only a little, barely a drop. I was worried that I had some kind of problem because at school, I'd heard all sorts of stories. Then one day, when my father had had a lot to drink, and my brothers were out, and he was sleeping in the bedroom, I crept inside, put my hand on his penis, and started stroking it until he ejaculated. The sheets were covered in sperm. I got scared and ran out. I've never told anyone that before. Now it's your turn to tell me the secret.
And it doesn't get the kid to admit anything. The kid's like, I don't got anything to tell you, Dad. He's like, well, come on, I just fucking told you that. You gotta tell me something. Doesn't say anything.
Give me a piece of...
Yeah. Me and Tyler were also laughing where Tyler was like, the dad was faking it. He was he was awake.
He was awake the whole time.
Yeah, and I sent you a message where like, oh, keep going. What was that? No.
No.
Yeah.
But beautiful hands,
Beautiful hands. Yeah.
There's something about this movie about the hands. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but throughout the whole movie it showed close-ups of everyone's hands. Nicole Kidman's, his, Martin.
Yeah.
Like, it was all about hands, and I don't know. Apparently, this is one of those movies where there's like a lot of hidden shit and a lot of foreshadowing and stuff like that.
No.
Gotta be honest, you could skip the first 40 minutes of this movie.
Probably, yeah.
Right? Until they meet at the diner or the bar upstairs. Not bar, it's a fucking hospital.
Yeah.
But restaurant upstairs.
Yeah.
You could literally start the movie right then and there.
I guess to be fair, you'd be confused as to why all of a sudden the kids aren't walking. But then again, you would find out immediately.
Well, I think at that point it was just the boy, right?
Was it just the boy? Yeah. Yeah, okay, it was just the boy at that point.
Here's me being crazy, right? And you tell me, well, I know I'm crazy. I don't need
I know you're crazy.
justify. Yeah. Since the very beginning of the movie, at the first dinner table,
Uh-huh.
Colin Farrell refers to Bob, which is the kid's name, the boy's name,
Yeah.
and he calls him darling.
Yeah.
And in my mind, that's a female like type thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I kept waiting for there to be this weird twist or something. And don't get me wrong, Bob has long hair, which, nowadays, who gives a shit? But, like, it's very strange. And he's like, you need to cut that hair. And he goes on and on about this fucking hair. And I kept waiting for this to be. Guess what, guys? It's not a twist. This guy, for some reason, they calls his son darling.
Yeah.
And it bugged me the whole movie.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a you thing.
Yeah.
I will say, when we watched it Comes from Space or whatever that Nicolas Cage movie is, he calls his kid like baby or sweetheart or something, like the son. And it was the same thing where we were like, you don't call a boy that. You call him like buddy or champ.
So like, I might be old or whatever, but like to me, I guess that is, it's not a gender neutral thing to say, but maybe nowadays it is, and I'm just old.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's just
When
our
you're
dads
young, you're old. Yeah.
didn't fucking give us.
didn't love us.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start with the son wakes up one day and he just can't walk. He's like, my legs are numb. I can't fucking walk. And so,
hold on.
Yeah.
And again, this speaks about the movie. Did you, and later on it gets more apparent, the parents' tone and how they would get upset, but like they would threaten like no TV for 2 weeks, right? Or 2 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And so. But like their actions were so much more violent and they were so much more aggressive.
Yeah.
Like there's literally a time where Nicole Kidman walks up to her daughter and slaps her in the face.
She had it coming.
It's like, I won't take people being rude to me.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where she's like, you need to water the plants. And like it is so weird to me. Like the whole film, like when the kid can't walk, he goes, I'm not taking, and he goes, he's like, he's not yelling, but he's being very stern.
Yeah.
You need to get out of bed. You got to get out of bed. You got 10 minutes. And he's like, Dad, I can't move. I can't walk.
Yeah.
I can't get up.
My legs don't work.
Yeah. And he was like, listen, you're riding that bus. But like in the way he delivered it, it seemed like he was about to like just beat the shit out of the kid. But it was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so his legs don't work. And they take him to the hospital. Colin Farrell, we've gone over. He's a doctor. He's a cardiologist. The mom is also a doctor. I don't remember what they said her.
She's an optometrist.
Okay. But yeah, they take him to the hospital, do all the tests, everything completely fine. They're like, yeah, we think, maybe he just woke up and his legs were a little numb and he got scared or something. And then you get a shot of them, the mom and the son, leaving the hospital. And they get to the bottom of the escalators, and the fucking kid just falls out, can't walk anymore. And so they go and check him into the hospital. And the Martin, at that point, who up to that point in the movie had become increasingly more
clingy,
almost straight up just stalkerish of Colin Farrell. There's one scene where Colin Farrell and his family are like over at a dinner with the anesthesiologist friend, and he gets a call from Martin and he answers it, and Martin's like, where have you been? I called you 105 times or whatever, and you didn't answer my phone call or whatever. And there's the anesthesiologist is like, yeah, I saw that kid that you brought around here the other day. He was outside, by your car or whatever. And Colin Farrell's daughter says that she saw him, and and there's a shot of him lurking outside of his house at one point. And so immediately Colin Farrell's like, all right, this kid fucking, he's being weird or whatever. He shows up at the hospital, tells Colin Farrell, hey, meet me in the restaurant in 10 minutes. I'll explain everything that's happening. And he sits down, and this is the only explanation you'll get through the whole movie, and it's dumped right here in this 2-minute scene where he goes, all right, since you killed my dad, now you have to kill a member of your family. First they'll start, they can't walk, then they won't want to eat, then they'll bleed from their eyes, and then after that they'll die. Like, after they start bleeding from their eyes, you got like a couple hours at most, so you got to make a decision, and that's it. That's the entire explanation we get for the movie, is that something or someone deems Colin Farrell responsible for the death of Martin's dad, and a curse maybe has been put upon his family.
Okay, I'm gonna explain this very quickly so that I don't hold you up. Yes, it's exactly what you think. Just like you killed a member of my family, now you gotta kill a member of your family to balance things out, understand? I can't tell you who to kill, of course, that's for you to decide, but if you don't do it, they will all get sick and die. Bob will die, Kim will die, your wife will die. They will all get sick and die. 1, paralysis of the limbs. 2, refusal of food to the point of starvation. 3, bleeding from the eyes. 4, death. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry, you won't get sick, you just gotta stay calm, that's all. There, I said it as quickly as I could.
Where Colin Farrell himself cannot die. It's not a thing where you can like choose to off yourself. You have to choose.
That's what I didn't. I was confused with that. I thought he said he could.
I don't think so.
I thought he said you or a member of your family must pay the price or whatever.
No, I remember it just as a member of the family, because I feel like if he could have done that, there's a scene later with Nicole Kidman where I feel like she would have been more inclined to be like, hey, you should just fucking kill yourself. But yeah, and that's all we get. So what's your take on, do you think that Martin did some type of weird fucking black magic thing and put a curse on dude's family? Or do you think like just the curse just happened at randomly, like somehow some gods or something deemed it fit? Or is it more of the whole, in reality, Martin was just like, you know, they keep talking about that lemonade, was he just like poisoning them or somehow, and then, you know, after he gets what he wants, he just stops, or something?
It's gotta be. It's so. And this, I'll explain, like, what I think it was. So, way back in the day, you know, they're like, you go to bed with a wet head, you catch pneumonia or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And there's a scene in their basement where Martin's like, you're a doctor, so you're a rational man, you know, you're a scientist, you got whatever. But, like, I don't think this is, like I said, it'd be really easy. It feels poison or whatever. You know, they're doctors, so they would have found that or whatever, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this lies out. So it's either, like, I guess you could say karma.
Yeah.
But it seems more like it's, like, the gods, if we were still, like, a, theological, you know, civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a weird part where he's like, he says he's looking for a crocodile's tooth, virgin pubes, and something else, right? And it was so weird, and it stood out so fucking. I mean, don't be wrong, dude was losing his shit. So like, it, you know, kind of satire, or you know, supposed to be comical.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it had to be like, just because I know it's Greek mythology based or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It almost has to be like, you know, a god meddling, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's like, I honestly, I was watching it and I was like, I don't think, first off, I don't think Martin had the mental capacity to create some grand scheme. But
well,
yeah,
the only thing that like says that it was Martin doing the whole thing is in that fucking hospital
Yeah.
where he calls that girl.
that was the one
he's like,
scene
"Hey,
that kept tripping me up the whole movie.
Yeah, the whole time he was like, "Yeah, walk to the window. Yeah, you got this," and she does.
Mhm.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, what?"
And then the second he hangs
Like-
up the phone, she goes back to
And then fucking poor Bob's like, I'm gonna get up too.
I want to go to that fucking window. Yeah.
I was like, God damn, Bob.
Yeah. Was that before or after her and Nicole Kidman had that argument? And Nicole Kidman says something, and then the daughter goes, "Fuck you." Like under her breath, Nicole, what'd you just say?
that was the immediately after.
Okay.
He was like, who'd you call?
Yeah.
You won't be talking to him anymore. And it's just,
that daughter, by the
what'd you
way,
say?
I looked her up. She was in this movie called White Noise with Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig. Greta Gerwig, by the way, director and I think writer of Barbie that made like $1 billion. She's married to the director of White Noise, Noah Baumbach, I think is his name. He's the guy that made Marriage Story, and he made a movie called Frances Ha and another movie. But White Noise, she was the daughter in that. Is the movie that introduced me to LCD sound system. So I just had to shout out White Noise, where that's the movie that the last 7 minutes with the credits is like a LCD sound system song.
Side note.
Yeah.
LCD sound system will invade your playlist on Spotify when you randomize.
Dude,
Not necessarily a bad
yeah.
but
You got the worst song, that fucking Daft Punk at My House Party song. I hate that song. That hospital scene tripped me up the whole movie. I was like, well, clearly he must have. And they kept talking about how, like, eventually Colin Farrell goes and he kidnaps fucking the kid, and like they have him chained up in the basement or whatever. And they keep talking about, killing me isn't. They keep saying if you kill him, it'll be like killing 4 people.
All 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, well, what is that? Because couldn't he kill him, but then still just kill a member of his family? Like when it turns out that didn't help. But they made it seem like if you kill him, that's just it for all of you. So I don't know.
Not to spoil. Well, I'll keep it vague. At the end of the movie, there's a scene at the restaurant, and since everything was done, I really expected Colin Farrell to just go up and blast dude.
I kind of thought about it too, yeah. But instead, you just get, yeah.
Yeah.
Guess you can't say that.
The
either.
family exits, and that's the end.
Yeah, they sit at the diner, and "Don't Stop Believin'" plays, and you hear the door open up, and it cuts to black, and that's the end of the movie. Classic little Sopranos joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, also then, he tells them the rules of what's happening. And then one of my favorite scenes of the movie is he goes back and the mom had just brought these cinnamon donuts to give to the son. And they're just sitting there, the box is full, and she's like, he's not hungry. He doesn't want to eat it. He goes, fucking eat the donut. Just starts shoving a donut just into his mouth.
He doesn't want it. He'll eat it later.
That's right. That's right. Now, chew it. Swallow.
Leave him alone. He said he doesn't want it now.
He's going to eat them right now.
And I was cracking up laughing at him.
But again, there's no tone. Everything is tone deaf. Like everything, he's doing this and trying to force feed his kid donut.
Yeah.
A donut. I can't speak. Sorry, and the whole time he's like, "Oh, he's not eating because I wouldn't." He has his. Now, I'm not gonna say it's a bullshit accent because I think it's how he just normally talks.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his real accent, but we're not used to. I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
But the whole time it's so monotone, and he's like, "Just eat the donut." He won't eat it because he's afraid I'll be mad about it. I won't be mad. Your mom won't be mad. You won't be mad. And that's how like everything in this movie is. And I'm like,
yeah,
just unleash, right? Like there's one scene in the whole movie
where
he just starts, I guess, crying or whatever.
Well,
then turns into screaming.
I was thinking of the different, like I said earlier, the only part of emotion you see is that one time he's crying. I forget about the one where Nicole Kidman talks to him where he's like, "Been a while since we had some mashed potatoes. You should make some tomorrow." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that right after my fucking kids die." And starts insulting him. And he's like, "Okay, you want me to fix it? I need some alligator teeth, some pigeon wings and the pubes of a virgin. And then he just starts like opening cupboards. And he's like, I don't see it in here. He's like throwing shit. Yeah.
She's like yelling at him, and he's like, I don't appreciate the way you're talking to me right now, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what is?
Yeah.
Like I said, this is.
Why'd that kid bite him on the arm? Just to be a dick? Just to bite him?
Well, no. So that's the only part of the movie I understood.
Yeah.
So it's kind of eye for an eye, right? And he was like, why are you doing this? This isn't fair. Don't be a villain. Don't be a murderer or whatever. And he was like, well, in this case, you killed my dad, so you're the killer, and you're going to kill me. So who's the real killer here? But it's one of those things where he bit him on the arm, and he was like, if I tell you I'm sorry, it's not going to fix it. If you bite me, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So then he bit himself. So then he's like, we both, I paid you back by causing the same pain to myself or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's like the whole, eye for an eye or whatever. And like, I understood it completely. It was really hard to watch, but I got it.
Yeah. Once again, another one thing, like he's getting bitten and you see like the bite at the end where it's like, I mean, it's a straight up bite in his arm, and Colin Farrell does not make a sound as he's getting bit. He's just like, hey, stop that. Yeah.
Knock that off.
Yeah. Quit being a little rascal, And yeah, very, very weird.
So that scene made me super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Uh-huh.
There's another scene where the daughter gets naked, sorta.
A little bit.
And they in the movie, she just got her period. And the only reason I say that is because they said
everyone
it 4 times.
fucking tells you.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell just goes around, yeah, my daughter just started menstruating.
Yeah.
And she tells Martin, like the first day they meet, he's like in the room with her and the brother, and she's like, just started my period. And he's like, oh, cool. Can I smoke out the window? I started one day and got addicted immediately. Which I thought was very funny for some reason. And then he gets her addicted. For the rest of the movie, she goes on that walk with him, and the rest of the movie, she's smoking out windows and shit. That was one of my... What?
Oh, no, I said there's only 2 scenes that made me really uncomfortable, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. Her singing next to that tree...
I was about to say...
the longest 2 minutes of my life.
I was about to say, that was one of my favorite shots of the whole movie. Was the pan out. And I don't know, it was something about that tree. And it just kept, like, the way they were panning out, it just made it look like it was getting bigger and bigger. And the different, all the different ways it branched off or whatever. And for some reason, I really liked it. Song was terrible. But,
We'll be raising our hands, shining up to the sky. 'Cause we got that fire, fire, fire. Yeah, we got that fire, fire, fire. And we're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn.
I don't even know what song it was.
I don't know if it... I think I've heard it. I think it's a real song.
Yeah, it's like a pop song.
Yeah. But also, it was very weird because she's like supposed to be a singer, but then she was singing. I was like, this is terrible.
I said the same thing. I was like, she is so bad, but like I think she's a falsetto, and
maybe
they don't really shine unless
there was that like scene in the bedroom where she me, and
then afterwards she goes, ooh,
yeah,
and I was like, what is this? Yeah, like, but
yeah, but anyway,
but yeah. So, long story short. We've been through all the intricacies of this movie for the most part. He has to pick to kill a kid or his wife. Who do you pick in that scenario?
I was thinking... Well, all right, listen. If you're going to be the most logical, you kill the wife. She's lived the longest. No. You would think that she would sacrifice herself for her kids. But... this is a movie full of selfish people.
I think that's the key to this whole movie that we're missing.
Yeah.
Everyone in it is out to save themselves. And it's really strange.
Leads into, once again, my favorite part of the whole movie, the last 35 minutes.
It's like, so they've been on I'm just going to go through how everyone's trying to manipulate the situation. you have Bob,
Yeah.
who they have this conversation because the kids don't know until homegirl tells them, right?
Yeah.
Smoking a cigarette, and she probably spills the beans and tells them how one of them has to die,
Yeah.
and she's sorry it's him and stuff like that.
And they have a really
So Bob,
funny conversation where the son goes, "Well, I hate to tell you, but they ordered me a piano, and it's not going to get here until next month. So you're out of luck."
yeah. But like, I understand that for like the kids, right? It would be like, I'm the favorite. No, I'm the favorite. But then to like seal the deal, he goes, he cuts his hair. He tells his dad he wants to be a cardiologist.
Look, I cut my hair like you wanted me, Daddy. I'm gonna go water the plants now.
Yeah. Like, keep in mind, this dude's crawling because his legs don't
his legs don't work.
Like, and it's at that point they're just adapted to it. So I don't know how like the time span of the movie. I don't know if it's been months, weeks, 3 days.
I would say it must be at least a month. I would say, but it might not be. We don't really know.
Like, he does that, which is, Colin Farrell's like, oh, what, my boy, And then the girl does this weird thing to where at one point she's in love with Martin, the weird, crazy dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say like infatuated. I don't know if love is a strong enough word. Brainwash? I don't know.
Yeah, I will say that was one of my reasons where I went, well, if you don't kill her, then there's a good chance that she's still going to want to be around this guy after this is all over. So I was like, it might be better just to get rid of her, and then you won't have to deal with that whole relationship.
And like, so she does this whole reverse psychology thing to where she goes to the Martin guy, whatever, tries to get things fixed. She tries to save herself and then run away with Martin.
She thinks that he can make her walk again because he did it before. So she's like, why aren't you doing it? And then eventually she just tries to peace out, and they catch her like crawling down the street. Her knees are all bloody because she's been crawling.
Yeah, it was Walking Dead vibes for sure. Yeah, like that lady that Rick shoots. But then they have her, and they're like, I don't want to say repairing her, but like dressing her wounds.
Yeah.
And she was like, I will die for this family. I'll make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like,
keep that when you're burying me. Just remember, I loved you more than anything.
Yeah, and I was willing to die for you. I proved it, this and that. And it was just like the guilt trip, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, these are two pieces of shit.
Yeah. And then my favorite is through this whole process, Nicole Kidman and Colin Farrell not getting along very well. And then all of a sudden, once, it starts setting in on Nicole Kidman, like, all right, he's got to fucking kill someone. She just goes to bed one day, and she's standing there, and she just, like, drops her little nightgown and lays down and assumes the position of how he likes to bang. And he just turns out the light. He's not feeling it. He's like, nah. And she crawls up to him, and she goes, logically, it makes sense to kill one of the kids because me and you can just make another one.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
Like,
this is 2 movies we watched where Nicole Kidman has been a terrible mom. She was a terrible mom in The Northman, and now she's a terrible mom in this.
So here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
And I know they're not trying to paint the kids as bad people or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think
that's
they're
how I
trying
would
to give
be
you like,
if I was in the situation. Hey, fuck her. Don't kill me.
But I think they're trying to show like they all have flaws, right? Or they're all greedy, or like in this world everyone is selfish.
Yeah.
Because there's reasons I'll get into it in a minute, but like if I was Colin Farrell, that's why I asked who you would pick, and you're like one of the kids. 100%, I'd pick the wife. 100%.
Yeah, it just makes it's the more, not moral. It's just the one that seems right. It's like, all right, the parent makes the sacrifice for the child. She's lived the longest. The kids got their whole life ahead of them.
Yeah.
But no, she did not feel that way.
Well, I mean, also, like, you and her made them, right?
Yeah,
like,
so you would think she would have that same.
Yeah,
sentiment.
but no.
Doesn't give a fuck.
It never.
We'll make a new one.
Yeah, and there's this whole, like, I don't know. Like I said, I thought he could kill himself, and that's what really confused me because
I think
was
he
like,
would
what?
have killed himself if he could have.
I don't know because it's just like his dad. You know
Yeah.
how they're in the whole situation because of him and his drinking.
Yeah.
Which, you know, your stance on addiction is whatever it is. Some people say predisposed. Some people say you're weak.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, you know. But
I
like,
say you're just cool.
Yeah. I say you're never thirsty. You're always hydrated.
I say let's go
But,
for a
like,
ride right now.
I wonder if everything could have been avoided if he just, and I think that's kind of what they're getting at, is that if he would have just taken responsibility,
Yeah.
if he would have just said, you know what, hey, that's on me, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. So then this enabled this crazy voodoo curse thing.
Yeah.
And even towards the end, he's still not, like, because he tells his wife about it. I forgot where I was going. But, like, yeah, if he was just confessed or whatever, then maybe it all would have went away. you
Yeah.
know?
But he doesn't confess, and it doesn't go away. So, how Colin Farrell ultimately decides to settle this is he takes each member of his family and he duct tapes them in separate, like the little boy's on the couch, the daughter's over on a chair, and the mom's over on a chair. They're all duct taped around. Their mouths are duct taped. He puts bags over their heads or pillowcases, yeah. And then he takes the gun, which is just a single, like, bolt shot hunting rifle that he has, and he stands in the middle, and he puts a bag over his own head and proceeds to 360 no scope his victim. He spins like a good 8-9 times, fires a shot. It was aimed at the daughter, missed. So he's got to reload, spins, shoots again, misses. It was aimed at the wife. And so he aims, or he, loads up again, spins. And I will say, every other shot, he shot like in mid motion, Sure looked like on this last one, he just straight up stops and then shoots. And I'm just saying, he took a little look around before he started spinning again. But he shoots, and he shoots the son straight in the chest and just straight up kills the kid. There you go.
So here's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for a twist or something, right?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you noticed it. I noticed it because I'm a weirdo. But, like, earlier in the movie, fucking Martin pretends he has a heart attack or a heart issue, right?
Yeah.
And he literally points at his heart and he's like beating on it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So notice where you were just hitting your chest, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He
You
shot him
remember
over
where-
here. He shot him on
and
the
he
other
died
side.
instantly. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a he's a heart doctor.
Yeah.
Shot his kid on the wrong side, maybe pierced a lung or something, but it wouldn't have.
I don't know. Yeah, I
No.
think you can live over here.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh fuck, and they're loopholing it or whatever, right?
Nope.
Like, so, I don't know. Stay with me.
Yeah.
Say you have to kill one of your kids.
Yeah.
Right. So you take
The girl.
fentanyl or something, right? You take a drug. You're a doctor.
Uh-huh.
Let's preface this. You're a doctor.
Yeah.
You give your kid a lethal dose of something. They
Mhm.
flatline.
Yeah.
Bam! Slam in that Narcan or whatever it is that brings the
Oh,
junkies
shit.
back.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
Yeah.
They still died, right?
Yeah, this is like the plot of Flatliners.
Pretty much. Right?
They come
But,
back and they're
the
like, that was
twist-
the greatest high I've ever had in my life.
I kept waiting for there to be a cool twist or whatever.
Mhm.
When I was telling Tom we should watch this,
This was,
like-
was the Tyler idea. I think I said that at the beginning. But
I was like, it's a
I
psychological.
just want to make sure it's pointed out. Tyler idea.
I was like, this is like a psychological movie. I
Yeah.
was like, pay attention. It's gonna be, whatever. Um, and usually when I tell Tom that, he's like laser focused on everything. They were like, "Did you see 12 minutes in? Dude's hand was touching something," and I'm like, "Nah, I didn't
Yeah.
didn't notice that." But
I did have one moment like that in this movie where Colin Farrell goes over and he grabs Nicole Kidman's hand, but it was the hand that she was using to jerk off the dude in like 2 scenes before, and I was going, "No, Colin Farrell." No. Yeah. That was also when I noticed his knuckles were all bloody, and then he shows that he had kidnapped the kid, and I go, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
but yeah. So like, like I said, he shot him on the wrong side, and I don't know. Like I don't know what significance that was. I don't know if it's just
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think the filmmakers were just like, "Yeah, I shot him in the chest. Doesn't matter what side." I don't know. But yeah, so then the next scene is them at the diner. The family, the daughter's healthy, can walk again because we see her walk out at the end. But Martin comes in and sits at the counter and gets like a water. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was her flirting with him at the end, where it's a known fact how Martin had said like he loves French fries and he always leaves them for last because he likes to savor them or whatever. And there's a shot of him looking over, and she just has a plate of French fries, and she puts like ketchup on them, and she's just looking at him, and she's like, she's eating them, and he turns around, he's got a straw in his water, and he's like, hell yeah, like, watch him eat the fries. Yeah.
I have a theory. I know I have a lot
You
of
and
theories,
these fucking
right?
theories. Yeah, what's your theory about the fucking fries? Let me hear it.
My theory is Homegirl was in cahoots the whole time.
Oh yeah.
She poisoned her brother. Her legs actually worked the whole time. So on and so forth. And she was like the architect of all this.
Now, how would this have paid off if she ended up getting shot? Or do you think she didn't care because she was so brainwashed by a dude?
Yeah, I think that she would die for the cause or whatever.
Maybe.
There's a really weird scene where Martin goes to their house for lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
And he gives them keychains. Now these fucking kids are like 12. What do they need keychains for? It was, I know it was just a weird autistic kid giving gifts, but she starts like fondling the keychain and they like make a point of showing it. And I'm like, this is awkward. Like, it's really weird. But I don't know. That was, like I said, you get no conclusion. You don't get fucking stealth Bigfoot. You don't get like the Loch Ness monster on a moped.
Yeah,
you have no clue what's going on.
No, you don't get it was him. You don't get it was fucking deer gods. You don't get any of it. It just they leave it up to you.
What's the movie with Batista where they're the four harbingers
Knock at the
of death?
cabin.
Yeah, so it gave me that vibes, but you didn't get to see the scene afterwards where they drive off.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kill one of these people or shit's gonna go bad. And like they kill the person and then the movie just ends. Right? Yeah. Like there's nothing, you don't know who, what, when, where, or any of that. Well, I guess with that movie you do, but
yeah.
It was strange vibes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I kept waiting for like a Mist type ending. Yeah. Where he shoots whoever he shoots or kills whoever he kills, and then he turns around, and then the next person already has blood coming out their eyes, or whatever. So.
Nope, didn't get that. You also you did get a scene though that I forgot to mention earlier that I'll go back, which Colin Farrell gets invited over to Martin's house for dinner one night, Or no, this is when Nicole Kidman goes around to talk to Martin, and he's got this place, Spaghetti, and he's like, they told me, this guy saw me eating spaghetti, told me I eat spaghetti just like my dad. I stick the fork in, and I twist it around, and then I eat the spaghetti. And I was sitting there, I was like, that's how fucking everyone eats spaghetti. And he goes, and then I found out everyone eats spaghetti that way. And I was like, oh shit. He's like, yeah, I got real fucking mad after I learned that.
You know, not long after my dad died, someone told me that I eat spaghetti the exact same way he did. They said, what an extraordinary impression this fact had made on them. Look at the boy. Look how he eats spaghetti. Exactly the same way his father did. He sticks his fork in, he twirls it around and round and round and round and round. And then he sticks it in his mouth. Later, of course, I found out that everyone eats spaghetti the exact same way. Exact same way. Exact same way. This made me very upset.
And yeah, I just had to point out the spaghetti scene. Spaghetti scene.
The weird part to me though is he's sitting there eating spaghetti.
Yeah.
But he
Delicious
is not eating
looking
spaghetti. He's not eating it like everyone you've ever seen.
No, he's like
he's not
stuffing the whole, yeah.
So it's like, it's that weird moment where you're like, this dude says he's just like everybody else, and then he's doing what he says he's doing, but he's not doing it like everyone. He's doing it wrong, and there was a lot of confusion.
You're shitting yourself. Yeah. Yeah, we don't even know. We don't do. Yeah, there was that scene where Colin Farrell does go over there for dinner, though, and that's why we keep talking about the beautiful hands, because Martin's mom is like, "Oh, you have such beautiful hands," and she starts like sucking on his thumbs and shit while Groundhog's Day is playing on the TV, and he's like, "I gotta go," and he leaves. Yeah, but hey. Martin was all about. He's like, my mom really likes you. She's got a great figure. I think you guys would be a really good fit. Yeah, she lost some weight, changed her hairstyle.
Yeah, it was like this whole weird thing.
Yeah,
I was just like, Jesus.
But then he's once again he's the one that starts plotting the seeds of separation between Nicole Kidman and Colin Farrell, because when she comes around, he's like, yeah, he's been flirting with my mom for like 2 years or whatever. And they like each other. They're probably fucking. And that's when she goes and jerks off the anesthesiologist guy. But yeah. That's it. That's the movie. Killing of a Sacred Deer. Yeah, it was something. I don't think I have anything else to talk about.
So just like I took a nap after I watched the movie because my brain was trying to process everything, and it was just overloaded.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a lot of theories and things online. I did not look at those before this because I didn't want it to influence what I thought. I didn't want to come on here, especially to you, Tom, and be like, "Oh, I'm very insightful."
Yeah, I know everything about it.
Because it's kind of here's my thing. It's kind of cool not knowing the shit.
Yeah.
Now it'd be a lot cooler if I knew the stuff, but
yeah,
like I appreciate both both sides of that coin. So
here's the real question after all this: are we ever gonna live in a world where the kid that plays Martin will escape the world that he has to live in, where he just plays these weirdo fucking boys for the rest of his life? Everything he's in, he's a fucking that Saltburn movie where I still haven't watched it. All I know is he's like fucking a grave and he's like licking bathwater.
No. Dude jerks off in a tub and then he goes in afterwards and drinks it.
That's right. Oh, good.
He licks the drain. It's a whole thing.
He's in that other movie. I think the other movie is a Colin Farrell movie too, funny enough. The one where there's a scene of him going up to the lady and he's like, You wanna go out to dinner with me? And she's like, no. And he's like, oh, there goes that dream or whatever, And then obviously now he's the Joker in the Batman movies, which I guess technically Joker doesn't fall under weird boy category, but I mean,
Kinda.
he's a little freak.
So has he been the Joker yet?
Yeah, he was the Joker in the Batman, the Robert
What?
Pattinson one.
But like for like the 2 minutes at the very end?
Yeah. Well, there's a
Okay.
whole deleted scene that was like 5 minutes of Robert Pattinson and him talking that they took out of the movie and then they put it out after the movie was already out, where you straight up just see his face at the end and it's the whole like carved up Joker look.
I have to look that up because I know he was at the end and he was like, "Hey Riddler, want to
It
hear a
was
joke
yeah,
or
it's
something?"
the part of that movie that I hate. I really like that movie, and at the end they're like, we gotta have the Joker. You can't have a Batman movie without the Joker. And as much as I love the Joker, and obviously I think he's like the ultimate Batman villain, like he's always who you're gonna think of with Batman. It's like, how many times do we gotta fucking see a Joker? You know, there's so many other villains you could pick. Calendar Man. Let's do him, man. Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah. So he has been the Joker. He was also in Dunkirk, which is a really good movie. I think he might fucking get killed in that movie. I think Cillian Murphy might kill him on accident. He like pushes him down and he goes out like very bad evil things or whatever, where he gets the coat hanger in the back of the head. And that's how he dies. Spoiler. That movie's really good. You ever watch it?
Yeah. The what? The Las Vegas movie?
No, Dunkirk.
Evil Things? Oh no, I fell asleep twice during it and I haven't finished it.
You bitch.
There's these very long scenes of them just flying over water.
Those are the
And
best.
I'm like, I was like, this is serene. This is nice. This is like,
Yeah.
there's like white noise of the plane.
Yeah, Tom Hardy's one of them.
And you know how I feel about Tom Hardy
Yeah, big fan.
and Cillian Murphy.
And Killian, he's in it.
Yeah.
Harry
both,
Styles.
like,
You big fan?
I mean, he's okay.
I think that was his first acting role. I remember when it started and all these like teenage girls were going to watch Dunkirk because Harry Styles was in it. And it's just this super like grounded World War One movie about these people stuck on a fucking beach or World War Two.
Gonna be honest, like of all the singers who try to act, he's probably one of the better ones. I mean, he's playing a young man.
I think Dunkirk is the only thing I've seen him in. I know he was in that like Don't Worry Darling or whatever. I never watched it. Yeah. I mean, if we're the best singer actor, it's probably Jared Leto, right? I mean, fucking, yeah, you never would have guessed that the fucking 30 Seconds to Mars guy is gonna.
I wonder which one he did first.
I want to say he was in 30 Seconds to Mars first, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was an actor.
I'm willing to bet he's an actor who just happens to sing.
I don't know. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah, he was Fight Club, which was way back when.
We all know that Jack Black is the best singer actor.
I was gonna say, fucking Brandy from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well,
Brandy
the
from
first 30 Seconds to Mars album came out 2001, so.
When did Fight Club come out? 1999?
Yeah, before that. Well, he was in American Psycho before that. Yeah, American Psycho is 2000. And he gets fucking killed by Christian Bale in that movie, so.
Yeah.
But. Yeah.
So, but anyways.
Anyways.
Like I said, why are we talking about Harry Styles? It's not even in the
I don't
movie.
know, yeah. I'm going to cut all that out. No, it'll stay in. But yeah, anyway, so that's Killing of a Sacred Deer. Like we said, it didn't suck to watch it. I don't think I'll be watching it again anytime soon, but I recommend it.
Let me ask a question.
All right.
And this is when we had the horror podcast. We had this argument all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
What's the horror in this? Is it just the dread from having to kill one of your family members? And how do you pick?
It's the moment that he like grabs something and the music goes. That's the horror.
But like, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing like there was no jump scares or anything like that. I get that, and it's just like like I said, the dread of, oh, I gotta pick someone to die. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Like,
just the situation. That's the horror of it. Just imagining the yourself in that situation. I wouldn't take
I
as
got
long
you.
to
Please.
pick as that guy did.
If I get 2 seconds after he tells him he's like strangling his son,
Yeah.
like fucking dude, this is
Yeah.
a rhetorical question.
That's one part also that it's a movie, so you overlook it. But it's like, all right, you shot your kid in the chest. You know, how are you still walking around? Like, how do you play that off?
How do you explain that
Yeah.
to anybody?
Oh, I forgot to mention one of my other favorite parts of the movie when they're trying to pick who's gonna die and the kids are competing against each other. Colin Farrell just straight up goes to school and he's asking the teacher like, well, how are their grades looking compared to one another? And he's sort of playing coy, and at the end he just straight up goes, all right, but if you could pick the best between between those two,
If you had to pick just one,
yeah. And the teacher's like, I don't think I should answer this, Mr. Mr. Floyd or whatever his name was. Yeah.
well, that's like the cop out, right? Is like, hey, you have to pick. I mean, he didn't have to pick a kid; he could have picked his wife. But it's like, hey, you have to pick which one you want to live, which one dies.
Yeah.
And in the end, he still doesn't pick.
Nope.
He
Yeah,
rolls the dice.
He pulls a Rick from season 6 or whatever when he clones his daughter and closes his eyes. Did you ever make it that far in the show?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he swaps them up so he wouldn't know.
He wouldn't know which
who.
one was who, and he goes, "I'm a fucking terrible dad." He sits back down. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's a weird, strange movie. It's not strange enough for me, but I think it's like for normal people.
Strange
it's
enough
like,
for normal people, yeah.
Yeah, like I like weird shit. So
We watched
Like
Beyond
Mandy.
the Black Rainbow, so
Beyond, yeah, I was gonna say Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Mandy's
but I'm
nowhere
like,
near
there's
as
no way.
weird as Beyond the Black Rainbow.
So
Yeah.
but yeah.
But anyway, all right.
Uh,
I think that's about it for this
yeah,
one.
we're good.
When are we gonna be back? I don't know. Maybe next week. Maybe before then. Who knows? This isn't. We're throwing the rules out the fucking window. Okay. we don't know when these things are going out. We don't even know the name of the show anymore.
I don't even know where my webcam is.
Yeah,
Like,
Tyler has to
we
get
don't
his
know
camera set up. We're guys. We're gonna start watching some movies that maybe aren't just straight up horror movies. I was thinking.
Oh, we should have done one for Furiosa.
I was about to say we should do one for Furiosa because it just came out on streaming or whatever. So I don't know how excited you are to jump back into it to watch it again, or Tyler, better yet, we do one on Fury Road because you wanted to rewatch it, so we could just watch that and do an episode on Fury Road. But to be fair, I have a feeling a lot of Fury Road. Well, no, I have a lot of things I'd like to talk about that movie, but a lot of Fury Road is just gonna be. Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool when he did that.
Remember when he did?
Remember when he
shot
jumped
that dude?
and that thing blew up and that guy yelled?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool, yeah. So we could either do that or we could do Swing Vote starring Kevin Costner from 2008.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Well, that's my thing. Is like these kind of movies are good for this because then it's like explanation and everything else, or no
Yeah.
explanation and
Yeah.
just opinions. But like, like you said, Fury Road's just gonna be like, cars are pretty loud, man. What about that guy with the guitar? Like or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. We'll do something. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching. Papa Hades, if you're still around, what's up? We're back.
If you're still around and 40 minutes in, what's up, Papa?
Yeah. Anyway, all right, we'll see you whenever we fucking see you. We don't know where we're watching. Like we said, we're playing dangerously.
I can't even think of what's coming out that is
Fucking, there's something coming out. The Bike Riders?
Long Legs, but that's
Long
like really
Legs.
far away.
Is it? I thought it was like, it must be soon. Anyway.
Anyway.
We'll see you around.